ladies, welcome back to Sports and Mimosas, our girl chat. Welcome back, Meredith. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes, yes. Another one of our weekly episodes, and again, an exciting past weekend. We talked last week about um the playoff games last weekend that were going to get us down to the four teams going to play for the Super Bowl. And so this will be our AFC and our NFC championship games. We're kind of happy. You're kind of nervous.
I
So
don't know what I don't know what emotion I'm feeling like,
right.
and I only have me to blame here because I did this to
You wanted
myself.
both. You wanted
I
them both.
did. And then now I'm like, "Oh, I have to
Right.
see both." So, the one that I'm deciding how I feel about is obviously the NFC Championship because my boy, I've been talking about him for over a year now. Brock Purdy is making it to another NFC championship.
Right.
And he wasn't like himself. I feel like the 49ers were not themselves this past game.
No, because it was
Uh,
pretty close. So
it's pretty
let's
close.
let's
It
catch
wasn't
people up.
spectacular. Yes.
They
So
played the Green Bay Packers last weekend to
at
come
home
down. And so they're
and
going for the NFC Championship against uh Detroit Lions, our other
yes.
guy.
So I, who I also have been watching and cheering for since the beginning of this season, this podcast as a witness, because I was like, oh my God, Jared Goff beat Patrick Mahomes, which I now, like, I think about
In the
it, if
regular
Patrick
season.
goes to the Super Bowl, like the first game would be a portrayal of the Super Bowl if they've
Hmm.
met up, but hopefully he doesn't, but we'll get to that later. But now I'm like, I don't, because Brock didn't get the chance last year because he got
Hmm.
hurt and of course like just injuries and whatnot. And then so I kind of would like that to go, and like, it's been a while since 49ers, like with everything with Jimmy and all this stuff, like it kind of be cool to see. And then like Christian McCaffrey, like I just think that there are guys on there, but then I can't cheer against Jared. Like I
So
don't know how
and then
to cheer
that
against. Yes.
storyline, again, we always bring up the storylines. They have not been to the playoffs
Since
in
like I was
32
born.
years. Yeah. And then this might be the first, could be the first time going to the Super Bowl if Jared gets
Yes.
them there. So
Which
that
it would
is
be
like
Jared's second time, but it would be like again just his entire
Detroit.
story with
Yeah.
Detroit. Just like the whole city is like on the line. Like I don't
Yeah.
this is like I don't know how I'm supposed to feel because it's literally who I want. I want them both to win. Like, oh,
But they
something
can't
can happen to the
happen.
AFC team. I'm like, oh, you guys have to go to the Super Bowl, NFC. Like, so
Like we're just
I
gonna have a
really,
one-sided
yes.
Super
But
Bowl.
like that's why I and again I think how Jared has just carried himself this year, and not saying like Brock hasn't, but Brock kind of had his like run last year was like this
Hmm.
dude like was again Mr. Irrelevant. And like then it's like the fact that Jared was a number one draft pick
Hmm.
playing, and now you're against the guy,
Who
like
is
it wasn't the same
last?
draft obviously, but someone
But
who was
still,
last.
yeah.
So I'm like, there's just all, I'm just a sucker for a good story.
But
You're
and
just like,
then
how is it going to be played? They're
right.
both fairly young. Jared's been there before, but now he's with a new team who hasn't been there. Brock's never been, but it's a team with like history. Like it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, and then I'm going for like I want the Detroit fans to finally be happy. Like
Like
they
I
have
can't
not been able to
actively,
celebrate.
I don't know what I'm going to do during this game because I cannot actively cheer against any of them. Like I can't be like, oh, Brock got
You'll just be
sacked, but I
cheering the
can't be
whole
like
game.
Jerry got sacked. Like I can't do that. I have to be like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
You're
And
just gonna
luckily, yeah.
I think it will be a good game because this last weekend were pretty good games. Like all of the games were like pretty intense and
Yeah.
like down.
Because a lot of
I
people
think
think
really only
that,
Kansas was like City, theirs was kind of like a
Well, that's how
A
that one is.
runaway.
That's
Yeah.
always no. It wasn't a runaway. I think it was. That's how it's always. We knew
Well, not a
whatever happened
runaway,
against the
but
Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, and we'll talk about the AFC. But like that wasn't surprising. I knew whatever happened there was going to come down to whatever happened
no,
after
that what
5 minutes left
yeah.
on the clock. That I think Ravens was runaway
Yeah,
because
okay. It was
that
that
the
one. I was like,
Houston
one
just
of
wasn't.
them,
Houston
which
just unfortunately just couldn't
which
hang, and
I
I
was
think
kind
yeah.
of I not to the extent that I think you'll be in this last game, but when I was watching, I was just nervous watching CJ and then Lamar because I wanted them both to do good. So like I'm cheering on both sides. Like if
Well, did
something
you
happened
see
on
how they
the
talked to each other after? Did you see what
Mhm.
Lamar said to him? And I just thought that was really sweet.
But
Uh,
and I think CJ got like or they said something about his contract or whatever. So and everyone's been saying that obviously he's, you know, there for the franchise. Like he is going to be the
Yeah,
franchise quarterback.
good.
That they've done a lot and so big ups. And again, we said like, okay, we want Lamar to go because CJ is going to have another chance and he's just getting started and just what he's accomplished. And that storyline with Lamar is a lot um more urgent, I think, that he
Mm,
needs to get this Super Bowl. Um and then people have been like playing clips from when he got drafted and Deion Sanders was interviewing him because
mhm.
Deion Sanders was working for the NFL Network at that time and he was like I'm bringing a Super Bowl because Lamar didn't go first and kind of was getting passed over. And so it was kind of, you know, probably frustrating for him sitting there. So like I
Which
really want that to
what
happen.
ranking was Patrick?
Let's look that up.
This
So
shows you
yeah,
how much I care about him.
it's
Because well, I'm just thinking like we have a number one draft pick with Jared. We have someone who got passed over in Lamar. We got literally the last string quarterback with Brock, and I can't remember what Patrick did. Was he a first rounder or I don't again, he was not my
um
favorite person. So,
let's see.
but I
Yeah, he
think
was in the first round, but 10th overall pick.
okay, so top 10. So like
Yeah.
so it's a nice little smorgasbord of rankings, but I also again, I think everyone's just tired of the Chiefs. The Chiefs have gone.
So
They've made it to this game like 4 out of 5 Patrick's time, like Patrick's
every time
history.
Since Patrick has been a starter, he has made it to the playoffs. So 6 times.
Well, to the AFC Championship, I feel like there was like 5 out of
Oh, for
6
the
or something.
championships.
Yeah,
But he's been to the playoffs, which
yeah, he's
is
been in the playoffs.
impressive.
Everyone, and then the fact that
Um,
he's made it to the AFC Championship. There's like
yeah,
he missed one. I can't remember which one, but
probably like his first year.
who knows?
'Cause I feel like
Um,
he's been there for the
every
last
all this time, yeah. But I
at least
think
four because
that
he's won two.
yeah, and then I think again, I think everyone's just going to be cheering for
So to remind everyone that
Ravens
we wanted Baker Mayfield to go
out.
out, but we like that he has improved, but and he's
Can we
shown
just
some
talk about how
changes.
he literally lost that game for them?
Yeah,
I
he made a
felt
bad play at the very
he had an
end
interception with like 2 minutes to go
when he
and
could have like
just
ran. I think he could
it
have ran
wasn't
it a little
like a
bit more
really
for a
good
second.
read. Like I think a part of it
Yeah,
was like, oh, like and again, I understand. But I never thought I'd feel bad for Baker. And again, I wasn't mad at the ends of the result because I obviously wanted Jared. I think like it was kind of telling because again, that was 2 first round. Those were 2 guys who had the
yeah,
number one pick kind of storyline. And I've just been so impressed with Jared because he's like remained composed and can just make
yeah.
the plays like and again, like
When he hasn't had any bad like
yeah,
press, like Baker has like had some
yes.
ups and downs through his
Mhm.
career so far about, you know, him being, we've talked about that, like arrogant and just kind of like
Yeah.
not doing so well where he was at. And then he had that attitude and he really has changed. So we have been noticing that and we give him
Yeah.
props for that, but we wanted him out. He was taken out by Jarrett, which we were happy.
And again, I think just watching how like they never fell behind. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I know I keep talking about it, but I don't know because it's just been a whole
You're
team
just
effort.
gonna be cheering
And
the whole game.
like,
You're
that's
gonna
where
be
I was
cheering for
like,
both.
I had plans after the game, and I'm just gonna be like, can we just go get ice cream? Because I know I'm gonna be like simultaneously upset and excited at the same time.
Well, I was about to say either
Because
way you'll be happy.
yeah, I'm
But
like, I just need ice cream. I need ice cream. And that's what I do with ice cream. I eat ice cream when I'm happy, and I eat ice cream when I'm sad. So I just feel like we have to
who
go get
doesn't
ice
love
cream.
ice cream?
So I feel like I don't know, but like I also, what I was gonna say is, I think if the 49ers, I think having a tough game on Saturday could possibly help the 49ers because it's not happening on the big stage of like the NFC. Like, I think the fact that they've had to work for it, and even one of the teammates was like, we hadn't come from behind in a while. So it was really good for like our mentality and our work.
Were rusty, you could
Yeah,
say,
because
like they had a
they
bye.
had the bye. And like, I think, and I don't think anyone underestimated Jordan Love with the Packers, because I think that they
Which
showed a
he
really
did
good,
really
impressive
good.
game before.
Yeah.
He did, and honestly, it came down to the final minutes of their game, because I just feel like I have to be honest with everyone. I turned off the game because
You were nervous.
I
Or you
couldn't
have to
handle
turn
it.
off. Yeah.
And I was just like, this is how it is. I really hate that this happened. I never claimed to be calm and collected in the playoffs. So I don't know why I'm apologizing.
I don't
Well, I'm
think
not
you can when
apologizing. I
you
feel like
like
I just am
when you
being
have
honest
some
with
kind of
everyone. Yeah.
investment in it.
And
Whether
I
it's your
think,
team or you
well,
like the
yes.
player.
And then you're just kind of like, oh, this is so unlike y'all. Like, this is tricky. And then again, this was Saturday, so I hadn't even seen Jared yet. So part of me was like, this is the NFC. Like, if I didn't know my other NFC guy was going to make it, so it was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I like this, and it was just messy and things weren't happening. So I literally turned off my phone. Oh, because then my Fox app stopped working, so I couldn't watch it. I stress cleaned my apartment the entire first half of the game. And then I was like, well, then what am I going to do? And then I was watching it, and then the app died or whatever it did. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to read a book. And
Yeah.
then I was like,
You
I
into
can't do this.
your
Yeah.
World Series
Yes.
superstition
Oh,
or
I forgot. Yeah.
ritual
Yeah.
to
Yes. I was like, I can't do
read.
that. I'm going to go read. And I turned off my phone. And then I really did, like, I was reading this book called Effortless. It was really great, really good, like, professional mindset book. And then I was like, I waited like 20 to 30 minutes where I was like, okay, Meredith, it's over. Turn on your phone. And I turned on my phone, and I was like, I like braced myself. I opened that ESPN app, and I saw the score, and I was like, what the hell happened? And apparently my guy came through on the last drive, and it was like,
Well,
has
and then
that been there all along? Like, what's going on?
and then like you said, it came down to the wire and it came down to a field goal for the Green Bay to get ahead or tie it or something. It was down to that. So the field goal, the kicker missed the field goal. So people are like, they blame it. So I want your opinion on this because I always feel bad for the kicker because I'm like, but if you didn't get in that situation, but then they're like, well, the kicker has only one job, but also the wind and
I
the weather and atmosphere can play a part. But do you blame the kicker or on situations, do you blame this kicker of why they lost
I
or
think all I think it's very interesting that two games this week came down to a
the
kick.
kicker? Yeah,
And all I can say is that if I have a boy one day and he's like, I want to play football, I'm not going to let him
not
be
be
a
a
kicker,
kicker.
because I'm not doing this to myself. I'm not having that. No, absolutely not. Like, and I understand like the good, like, athletes, like, don't even think about it. Well, I think about it, and I'm in the stands, and I'm not doing that to myself. That I do think that it's just a part of the game. And I know that sounds like really stupid, but like you said, if your offense, what I think, if you're off, you shouldn't have been in that. I do feel like your kicker should be prepared to be in this situation. But again, that guy can't control the wind. He can't control where your offense has him set up because y'all couldn't get the first down. Like, there's a lot of in their situation that they can't control, that I think it comes down to the whole team. I don't think there's there's no I in team. So I think that in that situation, definitely. And now that I think about it, both of the kicks came down to like just tie the game. So I think it's really interesting, and knock on wood, because it hasn't happened yet. But like it's crazy that we haven't had any crazy overtimes in the last couple
Last
of
season or the
years.
season before,
Like
it was
both of
crazy.
them, because I remember it happened 2 seasons ago, and then
And the
last year
rules
we were like, here
changed.
we go again.
The
And
rules changed
so
from that other the
yeah,
first
and so
season
we
they did
haven't
that.
seen it. Like they've changed the rules because of it. So now it's like, again, it cannot happen in the second game on Sunday, because this is not the time
I
to mess with overtime
wonder
rules.
I wonder if it'll be like that with Baltimore and Ravens. So here are the teams that are playing in the championships. The For AFC, it's Kansas City Chiefs, who we wanted out, but they made it in, versus Baltimore Ravens. So Lamar, that's my guy that I want to go. I think that's going to be a good game, and I wonder if we'll see.
Do you want to talk about the Kansas City Bills game and how literally, have you read that it's identical? Like the Bills season is identical to like them like a couple of years ago, that like you have this winning year and you have
And
this
then
winning season, and it comes down to a wide left missed field goal. I'm gonna
oh, I
have to
didn't
send
know
it to you.
that.
The Athletic did it, and they're like, God
They
just
have some
hates the
good
Bills,
stories.
because it was like they had all these wins and everything. And I think what really
Which and that
I
sucked for Josh Allen because now they're like, okay, Josh, like you should have won.
yeah,
Like
I
this season
do.
was the season that
I
you should
think
have.
this was the season. I mean, I make Joe Burrow jokes all the time, but I was like, he wasn't here this season. This was the time for Josh Allen to step up, and he didn't. And I think what's the saddest is that he started the game so well. Like I was like, oh, Josh is in the zone. He's gonna do great. He was calm and collected. Like even though like I didn't feel like the Chiefs were as like on fire. Like I don't think the Chiefs had been I don't think Chiefs had been the previous Chiefs that we're seeing right now. That I don't think again, I think they're the luckiest team in the world, because the fact that like what
In
happened to
college.
the Bills, it was like you could just tell like they were like I really hate that for Josh Allen, because he's
And then
so
you can tell
talented. So
when
I'm wondering, like, do you get in your head? I feel like because I read all these like mindset books, like a part of me wants to be like,
you get
what are
in your
you
head.
thinking about in the third quarter? What are you doing? Like, please
But
read
I
this
think
book.
all guys, because you can tell when like one play like turns, then you can see on that other team when they were winning, or ahead, and then it's just one play and
It's
the
like
other side gets
contagious,
up,
man. That's
then
all
they
it takes
like
is one
they
play,
give
though.
up. And it's like it almost looks like they give up because they kind of like doubt, and then it takes like a leader or a couple leaders on that team to like, hey, let's get our minds right. We're still in it and come back. But you
Yeah,
can tell when it's like, oh shit, we're done.
yeah.
They're gonna win. Like
I do
it's
feel like
like,
it's
no,
so
there's
apparent.
time.
I do feel like, especially that matchup, like I feel like it was just apparent watching the Bills be like, oh, I think that they're just like seriously, like I think they all just were mentally defeated, which really upset me, because I did want, like, I just wanted to see Josh, see like if he could do it, because he hasn't made it to the AFC Championship yet, I don't think, because Joe beats him and Patrick beats him, and it's like, kid,
So will he have another time next year? Like there's so many people that were like, oh, next year, but it's like we can still only have one of our guys go for next
well, like a
year.
part of me is like Joe comes back, and like you never know, like I think it's
So I think
like we
like
have to
Joe
like,
will
well, you have to
be,
think about Trevor Lawrence like missed it this year, and I do think he's not
and
my
he
favorite
was on
person,
a
but he
good,
did really well last year. So like I think it's a different class now. Like I think that there was like this gap when it really was Josh versus
mhm,
Patrick, and it's still somehow we get it, but I think for an eensy bitsy time period, it was just the two of them. So it was like the
mhm.
young ones, and we're like, oh, because again, it was the next Tom versus Peyton thing. And so, but now it's kind of like you've had the addition of Joe Burrow, you've had the Trevor Lawrence, you've had the Justin Herbert, like you have the ones who are, they're not there yet, but every season they're getting, I mean, Joe's there, but he just gets hurt. But like the other ones are getting better season after season, that like I feel like Josh is here, but Josh isn't moving with like his years of experience. Like he's kind of just has stayed there. Yes. To
His
where it's like
class.
these people are gonna catch up to you. And like, I don't know.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
because when Joe comes back, just think of how interesting those playoff games, like when we get down to the end of the season, that will be if we had all these top, like if Joe was in there, because Cleveland made it, with and Joe Flacco was in there, but what if it was Joey
mhm.
Burrow in there? You know what I mean? If we
Like
have
if
all
yeah,
these
because like if we
guys
had the
still doing
Bengals, I
good.
think because and I think that like the Bengals were doing well. I can't remember the guy who replaced him, but I
Yeah,
think
I meant
yeah.
Cincinnati, sorry. But
Yeah,
no,
but
Cleveland
Cleveland
was
did make it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Cleveland was
but
there.
like that was a whole storyline. Like it was like, oh, and like CJ's moving up in the AFC. So like I
Yeah.
think Josh isn't moving with his class, but I'm like, this is what I hate to say it because again, one of my best friends is a Bills fan, but I'm just like, he's not moving the way that he needs to move. Like this is the
That
games that he needs. And again, it sucks. But like just like it sucks that your kicker did that, but you shouldn't have been in that situation
right.
to begin with.
And
Like,
again, like you said, it takes everyone. So it takes that defensive line, the offense, all of the offensive line, all of that, to stop Patrick from coming down, um, making those catches and everything.
and
But
I think like it also comes down to experience because I mean those
to stay
much as we
calm
hate
and
them, but like those Chiefs, like they know how to get. They've been to the Super Bowl. They've
well,
been to
and
the Super
like
Bowl in the last week. They
Patrick
like
normally stays calm except for that one game. I mean, he does
I
tend to
don't feel like
not.
he's being his super cool self
No,
lately.
but I'm saying until that
Yeah,
one game he didn't. So now it's like a little bit different. But normally he was a little calm. But like Tom usually was calm until he threw the tablet.
tablet, and he never stopped throwing that
But
tablet, man.
right, and then but I think it'll be interesting too to see because the old man will be back supposedly next year. Aaron Rodgers, like he's the old man in terms of age for football.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, like he's AFC. Sorry, I was thinking that. I was like, yep, Jets. So like
yeah,
I do feel like this was Josh's time to take it away from Patrick, like to make it known, like, hey, I'm here to be taken seriously. Don't get my name confused with all these others. And it's like, no, your name is staying with the others because you haven't gone yet.
but hopefully the Ravens, I am praying to the God, to God, to the God that the Ravens beat them. I'm nervous for that game again just because I don't want the Chiefs to go. Not as nervous as you
Do you feel
are
like we'll see? Like
with the
again, I
Lions
can't
and the
say I'm
49ers.
nervous because I'm like, whoever this is my Super Bowl pick.
Well, yeah,
Whoever
either
it
way
is.
you would be happy, but then
Yeah.
it's like which
But
story do
I'm
you
like,
want
I
the
feel like I'm
most?
probably more nervous. I don't know. Like, that's where I
Yeah,
really
that's
don't
where
know
it's what
because I
story do
think
you
God's
want?
having so much fun with me because he's like, oh. But like, I feel like I'm more nervous for AFC because I don't want Patrick so badly to not go that I am like, Lamar, you better get this, Lamar. But like with the NFC, I'm like, may the better quarterback win. May the better
Well,
team
I would
win.
love to see teams in there that haven't been obviously for the AFC, we're going to see a team that's been there. So I want to see Detroit go because they've never been. So I think that would be interesting to see just someone else get a chance. Um, and I think if
I, yeah, I
and I
think
want Lamar to get again. I'm gonna go for Lamar as my quarterback till the end, unless Sunday is his end. But
who will you choose? Oh, I guess NFC. Would you go NFC
so
over
if it
over
was
the Chiefs?
Kansas going in, yeah, it would be Lions. Oh, no, I don't know if I could take 49ers though.
So
You
like a
can't
part
do
of me
that.
is like, well, see, I just want Brock Purdy to get off his rookie contract because the poor kid
Yeah.
can't afford
But
anything.
me as a well, Saints one doesn't really count, but me as a Raider fan can't cheer for the 49ers. But then I
Okay,
would want
Tom
them to
Brady.
beat but then I would want them to beat the Chiefs because I don't want the Chiefs to win. So that's tough. So that's why
I
Ravens
do
just better
think
come
so,
on.
like, right? Like, so we don't have to do that because I think
Right.
like you have like again, we're all about the storylines that I don't. Well,
I just don't want that story anymore.
have you seen
Like,
okay, so have you seen the theories that they think it's going to be 49ers and Ravens because of the color of the logo of the Super Bowl? Have you seen this?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
But it's like how it's been
And
the
then they
logo, and
said
it's like years in the past, and how it's like
yes.
I don't even think this is rigged, and I'm like maybe there is a script. Um,
Well,
but no,
we'll
but
never
I
know.
right, well we might.
Well, yeah.
But then that I was like I really like, but then like I think about Brock going, and I'm really upset, but then I'm like, oh, but that means Cheers doesn't get to go. Like I think
Yeah.
that's like I've been so invested this year that I didn't think, oh, Meredith, they eventually have to play each other.
Yeah, you're
But I
gonna
think
have to
so. I
pick.
think like I'm going to be more nervous watching AFC because I actually want a winner. Like I know I want Lamar to win that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like
Well, and
I'm
that's
going to
where
be
I'm
more like
saying,
critical of the Ravens because I'm going to be like, why'd you drop that pass? Why did you do that? Like
right.
I feel like okay, Odell, I'm going to need you to do something. And then whereas like this one, it's just kind of like find a guy who's open, like find
Both
a
of you
just
guys do
like
good. Like
yeah. So
get
I'm
a
like okay,
touchdown. Yeah, I think
yeah,
the AFC will be more nerve-wracking for me that game, and it comes on at 3 p.m. um on Sunday. That's gonna be the nerve-wracking because we want the Chiefs out. It's like when you want
yes.
someone to lose
Like
so
something's
bad.
actually riding on that one. Like in the
Yeah,
NFC, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'll be sad, but like there's a
yeah,
storyline that I'll root for regardless when
of
they
it.
win.
Yeah.
But then it's like Chiefs go again. It's like, ugh, again. I don't want them
Then
to.
you're like, come on, beat them. I did like from the Chiefs and Bills game, this is off the field.
How much Jason
Jason
Kelsey?
Kelsey though. Like now if they go to the Super Bowl, I think that would be cute to just watch the support
Mm-hmm.
coming off of last season when they were
Well, they
playing
said
each
that that was
other.
the first time he was able to see Travis's game in 2 years, and
Right,
I was
because
like, oh,
he's
that's really
normally
nice. Yeah.
playing. And he like went all out. People are like, oh, he was trying to I saw some negative comments about, oh, he was trying to steal the attention away from and go viral over Taylor
No
Swift.
one does that. I
And then
feel
I'm
like
like,
that's such a
Taylor
stupid argument.
and
One, if
Taylor
anything,
doesn't
Taylor's
even go
like,
after it.
I
Like
don't
it's the
want,
media.
yeah, like if anyone, Taylor's probably like, finally, the camera is going to be doing something besides checking me every second. That, like, first of all, like, no one thinks like that. Like, I really
Especially not
think
him,
that,
because that's not his
yes,
personality. Like to
exactly.
me,
Like,
it's
he
not
just
from what we've
knew
seen.
he was going to do that. Like, I think that he was on his podcast and he was saying that Kylie, his wife, was like, this is the first time you're meeting Taylor. Be on your best behavior. And
And
he
he
was
does
like,
that.
he's like,
I'm
I'm
surprised
gonna,
that was
well,
her
like,
first time meeting her though.
but
Well, I
like
guess they don't
they've
live
had
in
to
the same
go,
city.
and they've had to
Yeah.
go to the games. Like, like
Yeah.
they've had to go. She had to go to Eagles games, and Taylor went to like,
But didn't she go to no, that was the mom going back and forth.
yeah. So like I think so. Kylie was like, be on your best behavior, and I think like Jason was just like, I just really want to be with like the Bills, like fan
No,
base, like
he
a
was
yeah.
tailgating
Yeah, he was, but
drinking
he like
before the
wanted to hang
game.
out with them more. Like he was just like, I feel like I didn't get to do it enough or
I
something.
thought it
And
was
like,
cute. He
and
held
he
up
was
the
like,
little girl
yeah. So
that
like,
one had a sign
but
for
he was
Taylor.
like, that's just like the Kelsey way to do it. And
And
so
then
like
when
that's why I was like, he was gonna do that regardless if there was no cameras or not. Like he was gonna
That's
do
what I'm
it.
saying. I feel like that's their personality. I did like how he did cheer and got excited for Travis when he
Mhm.
scored a touchdown. Just that
Yeah.
brotherly love and the fact that he hasn't been able to
He was
do
also
that.
like 40. He said he was like 40 Bud Lights in. So like good the guy.
Yeah, because
Like
he was already tailgating
and
out
whatever
there with
was in
them.
that bowling ball. Did you see the bowling ball shot video?
I
Yeah, I'm like, this
was
kid.
like, shouldn't he be out there tailgating with the enemy? You're supposed to be in
Well,
Kansas.
he wore it. Like he wore his Kansas
Yeah.
City stuff, but I feel like I don't know. I
But
kind of
who's
think that
not gonna like tailgate, even if you're like with my enemy, like you're Jason
like
Kelsey,
let's be
like
real. Like
his
the
personality is
Bills,
just too
I would want
fun.
to go to see the Bills people over, like just that fan base. Like these
Yeah.
guys brace the cold. Like I want to go party with them. Like
They
they
freaking
are real
sat in a
fans,
wall
man.
of snow the
Yeah,
week
those are
before.
real fans. I want to go hang out with them.
Well,
So
and
yeah,
I think he said that on his their podcast after that game when they were talking about the game that they had to shovel the fans and all of that with the snow. And he was just like, their fan base is to a whole nother level
yeah,
of like commitment because they go out there in the snow and they were shoveling and all of that kind of stuff. So I did like that from the game. Not the outcome, but I was like, okay, I'll root for you, Jason. But it was fun to watch him. So yeah, It'll be another nerve-wracking Sunday. I think a good one as far as the games that will have you, you know, what we've been talking about, like, oh, paying attention. So we'll see what
I am going to
happens.
be at work during the NFC one, so part of me is just like, just
You think that will help? Like, it'll be like going to
maybe
clean your house. Like, let me go take care
I
of
need to
this.
go. I need to go. I need to go pick this outfit for this
Yeah.
mannequin. I need to just
Let me go do
design
this.
this window. And they're like, Meredith, you don't need to do that today. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Let
do.
me just do this right now
Yes, I
during
do.
this play.
I just
Like,
need to
let
do
me wait
this.
till the next quarter.
Well, then
But
it's
I
like
do.
funny that like it's so funny. And please don't stop doing this. I have like you and my sister texting me. Like I am like, if you don't answer, I'm like, I have to go to Megan.
Yeah.
And then like if Megan doesn't answer, I'm like, Aaron, what's going on? Like
We're like play by play. Like,
I
this just happened.
I just
But
get so frustrated with my ESPN app that I'm like, I don't trust it. I'm going to like someone who's actually watching
But
the
it's
game.
so funny because we were doing that this last game, and it was like I was heading to the phone to text because a play happened, and there's a text
I
message from
sensed
Meredith.
it. I
Did they
sensed
score?
it.
And I'm like, yeah, actually, they just scored.
Like I sensed it. I just see like that's where I'm like I'm connected to Jared now. Like I need what am I
You're
gonna
like,
do?
what happened? And we're like, no, it
Yes.
just happened.
Yes. And then like I was at for those of you, I was at the LSU versus Arkansas women's basketball game, and these people behind me, I couldn't tell who they were cheering for, but they're like, "Oh, I heard Baker's coming back," and I'm like, "What do you mean they're making a come?" And I'm like, "Aaron, is it true that they're making a comeback?" Because I had no signal in the PMAC,
Yeah.
and
And
Aaron was
that
like,
at that
"No," and I was
time,
like, "Okay, good."
yeah, at that time it was like, no, it's pretty much over. And I was like, they
Yeah,
must have a delayed feed or something like
yeah. I
that.
was like, "What do you mean?"
Like, it made me second guess, and I was like, wait, let me like, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
I was like, they're
So
lying
yeah.
to you. They're lying to you.
So again,
Um,
that's the playoffs are just a different beast for me, and my
and I
chillness goes
love
out the window during playoffs.
see, I love when there's like that storylines because that connects us to the players. Like we've talked about this whole season because it makes the playoffs even more exciting when your teams aren't necessarily in there because like I'm still
Why am I
invested
cheering
in the
for
games.
Detroit? Like I'm like yes,
Yeah, like
like Dan
Lamar, like
Campbell just like freaking loves that team. That you're just like yeah, I want you to
yeah.
go. Like
But like
then
I love Lamar's story. Like I've been rooting for him, for from this whole season. Well, from
and I
all
think like that's
season.
the thing. Like what's the Chiefs' story besides Taylor Swift? What have they done this?
Yeah,
Like they
this
don't.
season, if Taylor didn't show up this season, there would be nothing but like, oh my God, they're still here. Like she
That's what it is.
saved,
Yeah.
and they
All
weren't
they
doing like
did.
the
That's all
best.
they
She
did this year
saved.
was bring us Taylor Swift. That's all they did.
We
And
need
I'm
some
like,
media attention, guys. Like
yes. I'm
Travis,
like,
let's get you hooked up.
that's exactly what they did. So I feel like I think that I mean again, we're probably just tired of them, but it's the fact that like they don't have a good story. Like they've
No.
already won two. It's like he hasn't won like it's not like he's going for his fourth. Like remember when that was a big deal with
And
like
you're not
Tom was getting
even
his
done.
fourth. Like,
Yeah.
like it was like, oh,
You can
oh,
take
like
some breaks in between too. Like you're
yes.
not
Like we're
done with your
tired of seeing it.
career.
It's the whole typical like our attention span is done. I keep seeing this go away. Like I
Right.
do want like a new one to watch. And like
Yeah.
and
That's
again, they
why
could be back next year. That's cool. But like not
well,
this year. I don't
I
want you
would
there this
still
year.
want to see a new one. I mean, I want
Yeah.
my Raiders and my Saints haven't been there in a while. So I would love to see them go as well. But I definitely would want to see someone outside of who was here this year, minus the Lions. I think I would like to see them again, just if they continue to grow, just for that fan base. I mean, as Saints fans and Raiders fans, we know what it feels like to go, and you're like constantly losing. But to have never been, at least we have been.
Yeah.
Like, at least the Saints have won. So like and when the Saints won their Super Bowl in what was that, 2010? Yeah, was it a 2010
It
season
was
or a
2009.
2009 season?
2009.
But it happened in 2010. The Super Bowl was in
Yeah.
2010
It's
year.
a very, very
Um
rough one for me to talk about.
right. But going to the fan base and how just sports does for the city, like I had just moved here to Baton Rouge that year. And so it was exciting that they won that year, but like just the vibe of the whole state was
Mhm.
like finally, like, paper bags off for sure, and, like, we have one, and so I think that would be kind of cool, for Detroit.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're already experiencing that because they've been back to the playoffs, and so that was a step. But to go to the Super Bowl. Now, I don't want them to win necessarily unless
But
the Chiefs
technically,
make
if the
it.
but like I think it's funny because the Ravens, I think, will have been the most recent winners if they go, because
Mhm,
because no one else besides the AFC were the ones who've won the most recently. Because Chiefs
mhm.
won last year and the Ravens won, the New Orleans won. The
Yeah,
49ers haven't won in a while.
but
Have they?
they've been in the last 10,
They've been
12
in, but they haven't
years.
won
Yeah, they've gotten to go so that far, but they haven't
because that
won.
was the
So yeah,
Kaepernick year. Yeah.
yeah. So it'll be interesting. It'll be exciting. I'll have to get my champagne because we'll have to have mimosas during that game.
Yeah, I hope Banana Republic doesn't have inventory. Do you remember how I had to work inventory last year on the Super Bowl? And I was like, it's the Super Bowl. Like, it was a whole, like,
Well, and
the
now
Super Bowl.
especially because one of your quarterbacks will be in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Like last year I didn't care. I was like, I don't care.
but
Like,
this year, like
I'm
one of your
like I've been invested. I'm
and
invested.
and they shouldn't do that because it's gonna be Mardi Gras weekend too, like here. So
Oh, sure. Oh, you know
it's
what?
holiday
That's
here.
probably what's gonna save it because we have a store in New Orleans.
Oh,
That's
see,
probably
yep.
that might save us
See,
because
good that it's a
they normally
holiday
do it all
weekend.
they normally do them all at the same time.
Yeah, right.
I
And
work there this
then
weekend, so I'm gonna be like, I'm not working on Super Bowl Sunday.
and then next year, 2025, you better go ahead and just take off for Super Bowl weekend now
Because
because
here, huh? Yeah.
you don't know who will make
I
it,
don't
and
know if
it's
I'm
in
still
New
gonna be at
Orleans.
Banana Republic. I hope like a part of I make
Where
10 years this
wherever
May.
you're
I'm like,
at,
maybe I should not. Oh, I love
wherever
this.
you
I loved when
at,
the Super Bowl came. I loved when
wherever
this.
we're at, and they give that date. I don't know if they've given that date for next year yet, but that needs to be saved
Do
because
you feel like it's later in the month this year?
yeah, because normally isn't it like the
It's like
first weekend?
it's like the 7th or something. It's normally like,
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
I don't
It's
know why I
to be
went down
confirmed that
to,
way because I thought it was like the 7th because I was like, it's never the first weekend of February, it's the next. And I was like,
but good thing it wasn't. It would have had to been the first if it was New Orleans year, because during Mardi Gras, oh no, the
they
city would
make
be
it,
crazy.
they would capitalize that completely.
Right, I'm just talking
This is
about.
what they would do. They'd have it the weekend before Mardi Gras, so the streets were cleaned from
Yeah, no,
the
that's
Super
what I'm
Bowl.
saying. Like they would
And
have
then we
definitely
would do
had to move up.
then Mardi Gras.
They would have moved up the
Yeah.
that weekend for sure
That
if
was
it was
no
here.
lie, that was the cleanest I've ever seen New Orleans in my life was when the Super Bowl was here.
They're like the big
I was like, we can clean the street.
the
Oh,
big media's coming. We were letting people in, like, the guests into the house.
yeah.
Like, we gotta clean this.
That's what I just remember walking. I was like,
For
it
the
doesn't
people that
smell
go
like it
down.
normally. It doesn't smell
Yeah,
like the.
this is
How'd y'all
not
fix it?
Norman.
What'd y'all do? And then yeah.
What air freshener is this? What
How much
Lysol?
money did y'all pay to
Right.
how
Um,
much of the Super Bowl bill goes to that?
right. When they go in and they do like movies go into certain locations and they're like, oh, like we're gonna use your building or your school, and they like pretty much renovate it because they fix it up.
Yeah.
Like that's probably what Super Bowl is like. Oh no.
Like
We're
I love New
gonna
Orleans. I'd be like, come
they're
back
like,
when
we're gonna need to do this, this, and this if we're gonna host. Here, get this fixed.
yeah, that's exactly
So
what's happening.
but yeah, so exciting stuff. If you guys can watch some football this weekend, get on the
Or
couch
if
and
you
watch
can't,
it.
just have a friend text you like I have Aaron
Yeah.
text.
Text. I'm gonna have to do better on um Twitter with that. So we can
Oh,
do
and
some
see, that's
live
what I
stuff.
do. My tweets
Yeah.
are just like,
Well, and that's where I'll go to. Like won't necessarily tweet, but I'll follow too, because when I heard something wrong about Josh and I thought Josh was out and I was texting you, I was like on Twitter, like, wait, okay, I don't see it. I must have heard that wrong. Like just
that's
kidding.
funny.
That's where you go find your stuff. But moving on, you went to the LSU women's game last weekend against Arkansas.
Yes.
They won, but the
But
city
they made a
has
statement because the same day they did you notice that they had the same score as South Carolina on Sunday?
when
Both
they
of them
won.
scored 99 points against their opposing teams. Both of them were
Wow.
both
And
South Carolina and LSU on Sunday.
And they're playing
Or
each other tomorrow.
yes,
This is like
biggest
our
game.
Super Bowl for the weekend here in
This is
Baton
like our
Rouge.
college Super Bowl.
Yeah, because it's happening tomorrow. College game day is coming. Yeah, I think there's like a college game day. There's like activities happening starting at 3:30 on campus. Um, I'm super excited because I'm gonna be going. I wasn't gonna go at
My
first because
dad's
some of these
birthday. I can't
tickets,
go.
yeah.
Just I just want
But
to
happy
lose any.
birthday, Dad!
Don't want to lose any sports cred. But so it's funny because I got him tickets for Sunday for his Christmas present because I was
Mhm.
like, well, I can't get him his birthday present
But
because
see, you still
that's a
worked
lot
it
of money.
in.
Well,
Yeah,
then
those
but then I'd
tickets.
have to buy the whole family. Like I can't be like,
Yeah,
bye, mom, taking your
right.
husband
This
away
is
on the
me and
spot. Like, yeah,
Dad.
yeah. So like,
Yeah.
but I was like, I would like to go. But
Yeah, no, I was back and forth and then decided to go. Marcus's Ian is going. I'm gonna go with her. She played basketball when she was in school, and so I'm pretty excited because Don Staley, the coach for South Carolina, which I love to see that, but just to see these two matchups, like South Carolina is like top. I don't know if they're ranked number one, but they're a
they are.
beast. And then
They are.
LSU, of course. And like
What's our
Kim,
ranking now after this week? Because I know that Iowa lost.
um, yeah, is that when Caitlin got hurt too from the,
Yeah.
or she didn't get hurt, but she could have been.
It's
That was a bad,
like she had no like poor thing. Both of them did not see the other people.
right. But then the girl that the fan that hit her
Mm-hmm.
bounced up and stuff, and Caitlin was a little bit
Yeah, like
taken back, but it's like,
yeah,
shoot, you could be hurt versus Caitlin. Like
yeah,
you shouldn't have been running the court.
yeah.
Um, let's see. LSU's 10.
So we did not win. We did not move up.
So yeah, Iowa's 5 after that, but we're 10.
I guess because Arkansas wasn't ranked. So
Yeah. And so South Carolina is number 1. Like Kim Mulkey was saying in her press con or in on her radio show yesterday. Um,
and the
yes, this is a
SEC.
big.
Oh, and the SEC, they're 1-2.
Okay, this is the AP that
So
I was
that's
looking
why
at.
game days come in. Game days come
Yeah.
in. Everybody's making a big deal.
Well, yeah,
I live by
LSU is the
LSU.
nat is
And
the
so a part of
past
me is like, I
champion.
can't, I'm gonna like pack a bag because I live by LSU. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to get into my house.
Oh, yeah. I
Like,
know. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have
yeah,
to
that's
fight
what
with
I
that.
was right. That's what I was like Highland Road's gonna be really hard. That
Mm.
I have a
I hope it's
meeting.
not rainy like it is now.
Oh,
Hopefully not. Would
oh.
it? Huh?
I was like, oh, we didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might like pack a bag so I can like refresh for my dad's birthday dinner because I'm like, I'm not
Not
going to
come
the house.
home.
I'm not coming
Yeah.
home.
But
Not coming home.
it's gonna be packed. This game was sold out. Um,
It was
or
sold out.
is
So
sold
to
out, but
give,
it's
I
been sold
think
out.
it's yeah, like to give everyone like clarification, I was looking for tickets for my dad for Christmas, like in December or November, and I could get any game. Like this is like back then before like we knew
It
the
was sold
current
out in
rankings and
the
everything. It was sold out then. Like I
yeah,
couldn't even get them.
when the schedule came out, because we looked when we went to the game, the first game, was it the first conference game?
Hmm.
Was that the first conference game that we went to together?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. We were looking
Well,
at
you
the
said we. I
tickets.
couldn't remember. I was like, "Are you talking about us, we, or
No,
like
yeah,
you,
me and you.
Marcus?"
Me
But
and you.
yeah.
I was looking at the South Carolina tickets and they were like pretty sold out or they were like super high. And so like the stories that were going around were that third party folks were selling the tickets for like $1,200. But if you go, I went on SeatGeek and there was still some pretty reasonable prices. It's a lot for what you would think you would pay for a college, but
It's gonna be worth.
especially
This
women's,
is
but I'm glad
we're
that it's
taking
getting like
over.
this. Yeah,
We're taking over, and
I'm
this is like,
glad.
yeah, this is gonna be the with. It's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it because it should be
Who
a
are
good
you
game.
cheering for?
I'm gonna have to go for Ellis. I don't
I was like,
know.
what are you wearing? What are you wearing
Well,
today,
yeah, I'm
lady?
wearing
I'm
LSU.
like,
I'm gonna wear LSU, but
I know you like John.
I do like Don. Yeah, so
You're NFC Championship tomorrow.
I know. But Kim Mulkey said that there's bigger games ahead for both teams, so it doesn't matter. Well, it does
Okay.
matter,
Oh, I'm like,
but to not in that sense.
okay,
But
okay, Kim.
she was like, don't get too upset over this one because there's bigger games going, and it's not the end of the season. Pretty much, I think is what she was trying to say. It's like,
Hmm.
but it does feel like this is a championship because like South Carolina won, I think the year before, or maybe 2 years
Yes, but we
before,
won the
but
championship. So
and
it's like
then
a,
LSU just
so
won
it's
the
almost like
championship.
maybe it's good luck to lose because then we win the championship. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a good game. I'm pretty excited. And I love that the city is excited for women's college
Yeah.
basketball. It's a whole vibe with Kim Mulkey being
She
here.
really has like changed everything.
Yeah,
Like I know
like
that like people,
Sparkle has went like more than what it already was. Like every store has Sparkle. Like how many people wear Sparkle or sequins jackets
yeah, Jamie
at the
definitely, Queen of
game?
Sparkles has definitely
Yeah. So pretty
changed
excited about
everything.
that and
But I
excited
also
about
think like she
women's
does, like as we talk about how like women, oh, we're ninth. We are ninth
in the AP
in the whole,
overall. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and Iowa, yeah, fell to five. But yeah, South Carolina is number one.
Yeah.
And I think it's been kind of cool. I mean, this whole podcast is about women loving sports. And I think the fact that we have two powerhouses coming in, like, who knows how many people are going to come? Like, I mean, not to make it about Baton Rouge, but like, this is going to be great for our city,
Oh yeah.
like,
I mean, because
bringing
I think
everybody in.
again, that's one reason we love sports is just the power that it brings
Yeah.
more than just what's happening on the court or the field, like in the game.
Those
What it brings to
storylines.
cities, what it brings to fans, and you can always find some storylines between, fans, between players and their stories and connection, and then just what it could do for a city.
Yeah.
Um, so it's good. I'm just glad that women's basketball is um on the pro side and college
Getting
just
attention.
really getting that attention, and it really is exciting in person. Like that game that we went to is like, oh, it was exciting watching it on TV, but like in person it's like,
Oh,
oh
it's so good.
wow.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. But before we get out of here, there were two breaking news that happened within for coaching, one in the NFL college and then one in the NBA. So yesterday I think it was, or this week, I don't know if it was necessarily yesterday, but the Milwaukee Bucks fired their coach, Adrian Griffin, who I think had only been there since June.
It hasn't been that long.
um, yeah, so they let them go. I think I was kind of reading some stuff today when I had a little bit of time, and sounds like there might have been some disagreements or
Yeah.
some rifts within the front office and all of that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So I need to still read to see exactly, but with that, we're getting back Doc Rivers back into the coaching game. So Doc Rivers, who has been with the Clippers, he's been Philadelphia, um, Boston, I think. No, somewhere
Maybe.
else he's
Mm-mm.
been. But Doc, is a very well-known coach, legendary. He is coming back. He was with ESPN as a announcer, commentator. So he's going back into the coaching realm. And I think Stephen A. Smith was saying something about like, here it is, like maybe last chance or something like that. I don't know.
Ooh.
So it'll be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see that. But yes, Doc Rivers is back. So we got that going. And then our alert today that Jim Harbaugh, if I said that right, who was Michigan University
Just won
coach
a
who
championship.
just won the championship, is going to the NFL for the Chargers. So my LA folks, if you're a Chargers fan, if not, Jim's coming. Um, and his brother is the coach for the Ravens. And so what we were just saying that they're both on the
AFC.
AFC side.
Because
So
before Jim used to coach 49ers.
Who I was still
And
like, oh, his coach is there. And I'm like, no, that's not
I was like,
right.
yeah. And then, so the fact that, they only had to face each other in the Super Bowl or every now and then because they were in different conferences, but now they're going to have to face each other potentially more because they're in the AFC. So maybe
Yeah.
next year the AFC roundup could
Championship or
be.
something. Yeah.
We're not gonna say championship.
Uh,
We're not gonna.
I don't know about that for the
I was like,
Chargers.
we're
He's
not
gonna have
doing
to
it.
do a lot, I think. Well, not
You
a
never know.
lot,
I mean,
but
look what. Who's their quarterback?
Texans, yeah, they like rebuilt
See,
and
all you
made
gotta do.
it.
That's all you gotta
Yeah.
do. Get a good coach and a good
I'm not
quarterback.
sure who their quarterback is, but draft is coming
Is
up
that
in
Herbst?
June.
Is that Herbert? Is that where he went?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oregon quarterback. Former Oregon quarterback. Yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah. But no,
So yeah,
pretty exciting. Pretty exciting weekend coming up.
San Diego used to be in, or Chargers used to be in San Diego. Now they're in LA. So we have so many teams. Well, we have two teams in LA. Two basketball, two
Yep.
football, two baseball close together, one in Anaheim, one in LA, but
You'll have enough. Okay.
it's a lot. Yeah, that was a big change coming from that to Louisiana. It was like, oh, we only have
One.
one. Well, you kind of have two because LSU is like a
It's
pro
its own
thing. Like
thing.
it's
It's its own
serious here.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have the pro teams in New Orleans and then you have LSU in Baton Rouge. Um, so yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, we hope you guys enjoy some football because that's what we'll be doing. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do so. Be sure to follow us on social media. We just put
We're
up a
getting
fun
hip.
video.
We're getting hip doing the TikToks.
The older millennials, got on. I'm at that very top. I kind of started the millennials.
Right. The mid.
In the mid, we did a TikTok, Instagram. It's on our Instagram. About what it is to be a girl who loves sports. So please go follow us on social media and then leave in if you're a girl who loves sports, tell us, of course, why. But thank you for joining us and we will see you next week. Bye.